AutoWeb. Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4,
AutoWeb.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, CSP, and a place to be. I'm the president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. Oh, repping Dealer Synergy, and that's not a sticker, that's real right there. I'm committed to my brand. How committed are you to your brand? But listen, I've got a superstar that I'm going to be interviewing today on the show. Man, this woman is phenomenal. She's got 17 years in the business development expert, specializes in, CRM and follow-up and lead handling, which is what we need a little help in this industry, considering that 90% of CRMs are broken and not set up correctly. And so, again, she works at a dealer group. She's running 3 stores. So, Sebrinner Blair, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It's a pleasure. It's an honor, man, because it's hard to find really experienced and talented people in the industry in internet, BDC, or CRM. See, what people don't understand, if you think about it, is that there's a lot of really good F&I people. There's a lot of really good desk people. You know why? Because they've been selling cars for like 100 years, like literally over 100 years. But what's interesting is that internet sales has only been around for about 26 years. AutoBytel, now AutoWeb, is accredited for actually creating automotive internet sales in 1995. And so since there's only been technically about 26 years or so that internet sales have been happening, there's the most expert that could theoretically even be is somebody that's got, 25, 26 years theoretically. So having 17 years, man, that's like dog years, like 7 times that stuff, you know what I mean? And then the amount of work you've got to do and the amount of drama dealing with the desk and all that other stuff. And I can't believe that you've been in the industry 17 years in BDC and you look young as hell. So God bless you.
Thank you. I do my best. Thank you so much.
All right. So let's go through some of the highlights. You work at for 3 stores you run. Tell me the names and the franchises of those stores, please.
We have Ritchie Cadillac Buick GMC. We have Subaru of Daytona, and we have Subaru Volvo of Melbourne, each of them having their own pre-owned lots as well. Okay.
Now, approximately how many units does those 3 stores sell total, new and used, a month? And I know that things are different with the pandemic, so I'd say like on average in normal circumstances.
Right now, we're looking at probably about 330 altogether collectively, especially with things being the way that it is right now.
And how many units is your department responsible for per month?
Probably about 200 or so of those.
So you are the majority. So the BDC is absolutely more than 50% of the whole group's operations.
We do everything.
Wow.
Everything.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, this is a perfect conversation to talk to with a real experienced woman like yourself. Man, there's a difference between a GSM and a GM, and no disrespect to GSMs that are out there, you know what I mean? But there's people that are GSMs that say that they're GMs because they don't have a GM at the store. So they're the head of the department. But the reality is a GSM is responsible for the sales department. A true general manager is, a manager over all profit centers, whether it's sales, service, parts, body shop, the office, etc. Me, I'm a real BDC director, so I find it a little bit not offensive, but a little bit interesting when people say that they're a BDC director and they just handle internet sales or phone sales. To me, that is an internet director that takes phone ups, which is good. I got departments for the record that they're selling 300 cars a month out of a single point Ford dealership just out of their internet and phones. But to me, a BDC director is going to be responsible theoretically for some or all these things: internet, phones, unsold showroom traffic, data mining, equity mining, CSI, special finance, cross-promotional marketings, OEM relationships, hand raisers, especially for GM hand raisers, and other things like that. What is under your responsibility and your team's responsibility?
We handle all incoming leads. We handle all inbound calls for every dealership. We handle all follow up. We handle every email, every text, every phone call. We handle all the outbounds. We also have a service BDC within this because I wrote service for a couple of years. So we do everything for every dealership, nothing missed at all.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And how many people do you have in your team?
7.
Okay, we're going to go there a little bit later. So it's you plus 7, or is it you including 7?
Me including 7.
So 6 plus 1.
Yes.
Okay, now watch this. Now, yo, the automotive people watching this right now on Facebook, in the Millionaire Car Salesman group, and soon to be listening to this on the podcast, watch where I'm going with this. This is crazy to me. Tell me approximately how many, besides yourself and your 6 people, not them, how many managers for the 3 stores, meaning sales managers, closers, desk managers, GSMs, GMs on the front end? How many managers for all 3 stores approximately?
We have about 10.
10 managers?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe 10. Yeah.
Okay. And how many F&I managers?
We have 5.
5. How many salespeople?
Oh boy, we have about, I would say maybe about 25.
Okay.
Between all 3
stores. So here's where I'm going with this. So what you're telling me is that you've got, 25 plus 5 is 30 plus 10 is 40. So you got 40 people to handle a 1/3 of the business. And you've got you and 6 ninjas on your squad, 2/3 of the business. That's what you're saying.
I'm being positive.
Yo, represent. You know what I'm saying? Because this is
already know.
For real. Because this is the thing. This is part of the dilemma. And I guarantee you want a Beyonce upgrade. You want to turn on some more cars. You should have more resources. You know what I mean? In the BDC, because the internet and phones are the new showroom. Again, the internet and phones are the new showroom, because your 6 people plus you, I would guarantee you, are doing 5 to 8 times minimum amount of activities and traffic than those 40 people are doing. Right or wrong?
Absolutely correct. You try getting a salesperson to follow up with the customer. I'll wait.
So let's start there. Why is it that dealers are upside down? Even your organization, respectfully, it's dilapidated. You have like 1 manager and 6 people that are handling, a tremendous amount of traffic. Let's put this in perspective here. How many leads do you handle between internet, phones, and all the stuff that you say, honest, like that you're responsible for? Fresh leads in a month. How many leads do you handle in a month? Fresh leads.
In a month, I would say right now we're doing maybe about 150 to 200
leads
between all 3 stores. Yes, leads.
Okay. So you have 150 internet, not deals. I'm talking about internet leads. Okay, leads. So leads. And then what about from your OEM leads? What about phone ups? What about unsold showroom traffic? All that.
Oh, so combined, that might be about 300, 350. Because we get a lot of phone ups.
Okay, good. So let's just say that you had 350 leads, right? Here's the next thing that I'm going to say to you, though. The reality that in business development, though, is there's something called the residual flow factor. I'll give you an example. We're in November. If you turn around and ran into your CRM, if you did a report in your CRM, all active leads that are 90 days or less on November 1st, again, it wouldn't be 0. What it would be, it's whatever's still active that's 90 days old. So that means October 31st on Halloween, the 29th or whatever, those leads aren't dead just because it's November 1st. They're only 2 days old. They're fresh leads. So I'm going to tell you, if you have 350 leads, those are probably net leads, meaning after you dedupe them and they're raw. I'm going to have to probably say that you're probably closer to about 400 leads in a month, which tells me that I guarantee you that you would be about, watch this, I would say that if you ran a report right now, you have 900 active leads on the first day of the month. Okay. Because remember, it's the 90-day active leads on the 1st. You follow me? So
right.
If you start November 1st with 900 leads and you get 400 more, your team is not handling 400 leads or 350 that month. You really are handling 1,300 opportunities between the carryover and fresh. True or false?
True.
So then my question is, do you think for a second that those 40 other employees, 10 managers, 5 F&I and 25 salespeople are handling anything even close to 1,400 leads? in a month?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? This is where my mind goes. But yet, even under these crazy circumstances, you are responsible for, over 200 plus car sales a month and a tremendous amount of gross. Now, obviously, I put it in the title in here. One of your top lead source providers is what company?
AutoWeb.
Okay, and AutoWeb is, formerly AutoBytel. It's the same company that just changed their name because AutoBytel was a little bit antiquated, so they turned on want to upgrade. I mean, like with the times and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of how I think what happened at AutoWeb is like how my kids tell me that I'm old because I'm on Facebook, right? And you got to be Instagram. Instagram's kind of cooler, I guess, to the millennials and the Generation Z people. So I guess AutoWeb went with like a more relevant, fun name, but they're still the same amazing company that created, the internet sales, category. So, we did the math. You were saying to me that you're selling about, what is it? It's about 30 cars a month, right? And it's about at 4 G's a copy. So 30 units a month times, let's just say, even if it's like 4,000, 4,500, I'm a car guy, so I'm going to round up. Even at 4,500, it's like $135,000 a month times 12 months. Man, we're like at 1.6 to 1.8 million dollars in a year. And you've been with AutoWeb for 17 years, you told me, which is amazing. So hell, I wouldn't leave somebody if I was making, close to 2 million a year. And again, their leads are like, less than $20 per lead. So the math, the ROI is ridiculous. How are you so successful with those leads? And I'm thinking, I don't want to lead you, but so how are you so successful with these leads? Process. Wow. Okay.
Process is everything.
Explain it. Why do you feel that process is everything?
Because I feel like it's a great way to follow up. I mean, between the first phone call, from the first text message, from the first, quality response email, and then these customers responding back to us, and we're on it immediately to try to get them a vehicle delivered. I mean, my ladies in here know what's expected is uniformed, and we get in the paint together. We make it happen. And if we see a customer follow up, I mean, if the salesperson isn't on it or the manager isn't on it, we're calling. I'm calling. Hey, this customer wants this, this, and this. Can we deliver this? So it's really, our process is everything, and it is fine tuned. So
no, yeah, apparently because you don't get a lot of leads. So I'm tripping over here. I'm like, because you, with all those franchises, OEM leads, your website leads, social media leads, all of these leads, how many AutoWeb leads are you getting a month, for the 3 stores? New and used leads, approximately how many leads do you think you get fresh?
Oh, wow. Paul, what do you think? I would say maybe about 150.
Yeah, I think you're about 125, 150, depending on the month.
Let me just explain something to you. Let me explain something to you right here, right? Especially in this pandemic, and AutoWeb will tell you this because I deal with corporate with them all the time and all the other vendors, is that national average was about 8 to 9% before the pandemic, and it's dropped. And this is coming from Corey Nacky and senior executives. It's approximately like about 6% because of the inventory crisis right now. So that's crazy because, again, if you've got 150 leads, 10%, I could do basic math, is 15 cars, right or wrong. And
right.
So for you to be selling 30 cars a month is ridiculous in a pandemic. So I want to know how you're doing it, girl. Come on. So how the heck are you selling some
best months within this pandemic? We're selling vehicles that haven't even touched. We're selling from the pipeline at this point. And I mean, we have seen no lack. And it's just crazy. I don't know what it is, but I guess it's the follow-up, and everybody's just not trying to see anyone go without. So we're really working together and pushing these leads and follow-up.
I am so impressed with you and this conversation. We're just getting started. So first thing is, let's break this down. How do you go through the flow? Okay, so the action plan. Give me the verbal. Let's not think of CRM. Just tell me the verbal. So Sean Bradley, and what dealership are you physically working in? What franchises?
Ritchie Cadillac Buick GMC.
Perfect. So my daughter, I told you, Tiana, shout out to T Got Your Keys. My daughter was working at Patriot Buick GMC for 3 years. She was averaging about 20 cars a month, but she was outgrossing people selling, 25, 27 units a month because daddy wouldn't let her work with the company until she turned around and earned her stripes. And not at Toyota or Honda, that's too easy. We made her go in the paint hard. And so before she left to come work for my company for the last year, I purchased for one of my company vehicles for our fleet was a 2020 GMC Canyon Denali. So again, I'm actually a client of your brand. So let's play now. So let's say you receive an internet purchase request from Sean Bradley on a 2022 GMC Canyon Denali. Don't go through CRM, just verbally kind of share with me, how do you want that experience to go? I submit the lead, it hits your CRM, and what should happen? How do you want the experience to be for the prospect and your employees?
At that point, I'm calling. Hi, Sean. This is Sebrinner. I'm calling from Ritchie Cadillac Buick GMC. I just wanted to follow up with you on your recent inquiry on this Canyon, and basically just find out what you're looking for and have a conversation. I mean, we have scripts and everything, but I encourage them to have a conversation. So we're talking. Okay, what are you currently driving? Are you planning on using that as a trade? Is there any color you don't want? So that automatically exit that out of the equation. And then my next thing is, okay, when are you ready to buy, and how soon can we get you here? What can we do to get you to come in? If you don't even want to come in, would you like to do a virtual, appointment, any way possible? Because I know with the pandemic, we want to see what we can do to make it, as reasonable for you.
Question for you.
And no pressure. Yes.
So that was a little bit easy, and I'm sorry. I need you to step it up with your experience, because here's the thing. You said like you acted like I answered the phone, but I don't know about you. In my 23 years experience, here's what I found, and tell me just true or false. The hardest part about internet sales is just getting them on the phone. That's the hardest part.
Yes,
right or wrong. So that's the dilemma. See, what people don't understand is that there's two different realities: follow-up versus engagement. The reality of a real BDC, a real internet department, is that the vast majority of time will never be engaged with the prospect. The majority of the time is going to be fulfilling proactive activities: emails, phone calls, text messages, video emails, video text messages, social media, DMs, follow up. To me, it shouldn't be called the BDC or the internet sales department. It should be called the freaking follow-up department. Yeah, add the freaking to it. The freaking follow-up department, FFD, you know what I mean? And because that's what it is. And I love when I asked you, what are you superb at? What are you passionate about? You said the follow-up. And that's what people, if you're not about that follow-up life, you're not going to be as good as you think you could be, because the internet and BDC is not an instant gratification. Let me break this down. I want your opinion if this is real in your world. But NADA and JD Power say that approximately 46% of people will buy within the first 31 days. That means that 54% of people are going to buy on average from day 32 to day 90. But I find that most people don't have endurance. It takes about 9 attempts to reach them once. Is that your reality, or is it different?
It's the same reality, same thing.
Okay, so then tell me about your follow-up cycle now. So again, you don't have to go do like process dots, but just like overview. So if Sean Bradley's submitting a purchase request, you try to call me and I don't answer the phone. Talk to me about what type of follow-up activities you do and what type of frequency, and for how long do you follow up with somebody for?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Did you know 40% of service calls go to voicemail or hang up?
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
How many times does it take for your customers to connect with someone at your store?
The world may never know.
Unless you have CallSource customers connect with 96% of their clients' calls and convert over 85% of bookable calls to appointments. Really? If you're not performing at that level, or if you don't know, then text HELP to 855-963-2686 and receive a free evaluation of your store's performance.
So you don't answer the phone, we're assigning it out. I'm sending you a text message. I'm sending you a email for the first quality response. We're going to send out a video from our sales consultant with the vehicle, if we have the vehicle available, just kind of introducing you to them, as well as how the vehicle looks. And then we're following up consistently consistently for the next 10 days. After that, we go into like a 14-day follow-up. And even if the system marks it lost, we're still following up, whether it be once every 2 weeks or so, whether it's an email, just trying to see if you're still interested. Are you still in the market? Why don't you come in for a test drive? I mean, we're doing this actively for at least 30 days.
Okay.
At least.
Do you have any pro tips as far as what works the best when you're following with your AutoWeb leads? What I'm talking about follow-up, not the engagement stuff. We could talk about the conversation in a minute, but I'm talking about what email template works the best, what text message template works the best.
Honestly, with the text message, just regular conversation. Once that customer opts in and says, yes, I'm interested in blah, 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 at that point, we're just talking to them, like just consistently. And that's where I come in. I'm checking every 30 minutes to see if there's a response back, and I'm following up with them. I'm texting them back. I'm going to email them if nobody else does it. And I mean, even the email template, I think the biggest one is that first one. We send so much within that first one, from the video to the price ranges, different things like that. I think honestly that's when we get the most response.
Can you do me a favor? Because you could share your screen here. Can you show us? And I'll keep it. I won't turn it on until you're ready. You have it up on your dashboard and you press the button. But if you could show us an example of one of your initial email templates. And again, this is going to be viable for the people that can see this in the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group. So if you're listening to this on a podcast, you got to join the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group, and then I'll pin this to the top of the group and go in there. But because hell, I definitely want to see what type of emails that you're saying. But while you're searching for it, talk to me a little bit. What type of video is it? Like a pre-recorded video, or is it a personalized video on a cell phone? What type of video do you use, and what do you say in that video?
In the video, it's the sales consultant basically introducing themselves, and if it's depending on the vehicle, they are going interior and exterior of the vehicle, showing all the, the different features and the, how many seats it has, and I mean the color, everything. I mean they're just fine tuning it. It is pre-recorded, and then the BDC uploads it. We send it text as well as email.
And your prospects, you said they'd love that initial response. You have a high engagement.
Yes. We don't play. We have a very high engagement, and most of our customers love it. They love the videos because they feel like they connect with the sales consultants.
I think that's amazing. I don't know if you know, I just keynoted Digital Dealer, and I did a double session. It was one of the best reviewed, talked about sessions. It was video. So this is one of the things that I love to hear from you. And it basically validates my whole theory. See, there's a science to communication. About 7% of communication is text, or the words we use like email, chat, things like that. 38% of communication is sound and inflection, but 55% of communication is visual perception and body language. When you use video, it is literally the same value as if somebody is right there. You got sight, sound, motion, and emotion. Again, you got sight, sound, motion and emotion. And Forrester research says that 1 minute of video is equivalent to 1.8 million written words. And one last stat, this is facts. Video email has the ability to increase read open rates up to 300%. And it's crazy when I hear you say that, man, the first email is the most powerful one. And I said, what's in it? And you're like, video. There we go. So do you have your video example there that you can share us? Can you share with us now?
I have my email template up now, so you can.
Yeah. And then what you got to do though is you got to share your screen. So there's a little green button on the Zoom that you'll see there. And it says share screen. Once you press share, it'll share your screen. But while you're doing that, Paul, can you jump in? Because you look like, like we didn't introduce you. I apologize, my man. So Paul,
no worries.
Introduce yourself to everybody. I was just so captivated with your star that you got right here, man. So
no worries. Yeah, I'm Paul Maglio. I'm the Director of Client Success at AutoWeb. I've been around for about 15, going on 16 years. And I work with people, just like Sebrinner here, just helping them sell cars, doing what we can to get them leads, get them customers, and just work with them and help them sell as many cars as possible. So, when I'm hearing stuff about your process, I'm just smiling this whole time. It's just music to my ears. Love to hear process, personality, long-term follow-up. I love it. Every word of it.
So Paul, what's kind of crazy on a two different levels is, and Sabrina, I don't know if you know this, but there have been over 100 million people that have purchased cars through AutoWeb. 100 million cars have been sold through the AutoBytel/AutoWeb platform, it's the same company, in the last quarter century. That's so much. So that's a lot of cars. 100 million cars sold through your company, dude. It's insane. But I'm blown away the fact that this 3 stores, small, because they're 3 versus like large, huge dealer groups, made $1.8 million in 1 year on just your leads. The ROI is like 10 times, what they invested. So even for you as a representative of your company, are you not blown away? Because I've been doing this for 23 years. That's a hell of an ROI, no?
Absolutely. And we like to, say we don't involve ourselves in the negotiation. When we send the leads, when we send the customers, it's the staff at the dealership is responsible for gross. I mean, it's all them. We provide the customer with the perfect process. You're going to maximize your return. And that's what she's doing, which is fantastic. Amazing.
It is. Sabrina, did you find the share button?
Yes.
Okay, click it. You got to click it. Yes. Okay. So you're driving. So kind of walk us through. And I love this. So this is the template. So folks, what you're looking at, this is an HTML template that's within her CRM, and it has merge codes in it and everything like that. Can you scroll down slowly as we kind of go through? So thank you for your request regarding the terrain. We will be in contact with you shortly via phone call and text. If you have any further inquiries, please feel free to contact us, boom, 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 by email. Okay. In the meantime, we've got a great selection of 21 terrains available. The sale price of the vehicle range from boom, 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 to get the fair trade, boom, 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 one. So I like this. Go back. So let's go through the psychology of this. So obviously you have the initial greeting and things like that, but then you are talking about price right from the door. And we'll get into that in a second, because this is very controversial even before the pandemic. And then you're also bringing up the trade right there. Smart, 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 for a bunch of reasons we'll touch on in a second. You want to shop online to the Premiere? Okay, want to shop online? Oh, this is your digital retailing opportunity right there?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. So we've got
GM, yes.
I love it. So we've got, the pricing, trade, digital retailing. Okay, keep going. I would like to get to there. Keep scrolling down. And so where do you put the video? You're on mute or something. I lost you.
Generally, the video would go like right in between here. We would just put a click here to see the video. And then at that point, the customer can click it, and it'll take them straight to our YouTube page, and it'll go straight to their video.
That's phenomenal. Okay, you could stop sharing this so I could see the full screen and talk to you again. Thank you so much for sharing that with the audience. And again, if you're listening to this, don't be pissed at me that you listen to the podcast and you're not in the group. You got to go in the group. You'll be able to see the cooler stuff. All right. So question for you, right? Pricing. Even with this pandemic, what's your policy at your group? Are you going list or over MSRP right now?
Honestly, right now, we're only $1,000 over MSRP right now.
But you still are over MSRP. So my question is, do you really still say that like in your initial email, or no?
No.
Okay, good. So I don't want to give a confusion to people listening to the podcast and things like that. So this is good. So then do you even mention anything about pricing like in your emails now, or you just don't mention the over list part? So talk to us. What's the strategy? How do you handle that? Because if you said the price of the vehicle is this, and they come in and you're like, psych, it's $1,000 more. Like that wouldn't be good. What happens? So
we basically give a range starting at this and could lead up to this, depending on the options that you choose. So we have to put that in there, because if you want, a blacked out Black Ops edition, okay, of course you're going to pay more for that versus a base, Escalade.
I definitely want that.
So we always give a range. Now, if it's on a specific, we always get with a manager to get a price quote, and then we let them know it depends on what you're trading, and it also depends on what you're planning on putting down. Are you leasing? It's so many different factors in that.
I love it. And then talk about the trade in here. See, there's a lot of dealers, because everybody, I don't care who you are, you have a debacle with new car inventory. I got mega stores, billion-dollar dealer groups that got like no new cars on ground. And then I have dealers that have like very little used cars. And why? Oh, they don't have an acquisition strategy. They're not proactive trying to get trade-ins or get, straight people that want to just sell their cars. So how successful have you guys been in getting additional trades or acquisition vehicles for you to add to your inventory?
Honestly, we work with KBB and AutoTrader.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been using that tool a lot. A lot of customers have been interested in selling their vehicles, for whatever reason. And our used car inventory has been killing it. When I say they're taking in anything and everything and they're selling it, and I mean it's been amazing. It's been amazing, like you said. Even with the new car inventory, it's been far and few between, but used car is just like through the roof.
And I want to mention something. You're on the AutoWeb used car program, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Okay, here's what I know. I don't even need to ask you. I could tell you unequivocally that the AutoWeb used car program is a fraction of the cost of an AutoTrader or Cars.com, correct?
Right.
So for me, one of the reasons why I like AutoWeb for used cars versus an online classified, there's a difference between a lead source provider and an online classified. Online classifieds try to act funny. They're like, if you spend all this money, which is probably, no offense, AutoWeb, but it's probably double or triple, because those companies are cracking the dog shit, no offense, out of dealers, on online classifieds. And when I do this, I ask questions. I have somebody, this is a true story, folks. I have a dealer that was spending like about 5,500 on like cars.com. And they got, you ready for this? They got 37 leads. So that's $148 per lead. And then when I checked the rep and the rep's manager, like the equivalent of Paul, they were like, oh, we're not a lead source provider. You know what I mean? We're online classified. We're going to turn on and get you map views. We're going to get SRPs and VDPs. And I'm like, man, get out of the store. You're cut, fired. I mean, like, I don't care about that. It's not about that first, especially in a global pandemic. And when we need opportunities, we need people to call or email. We need leads, not smoke and mirrors. So I want to just caution everybody that's listening, you want to be careful of what you're paying for. You want to look at your cost per lead, your cost per appointment, your cost per show, and most importantly, your cost per sale. And if it doesn't make sense, I want to be cheesy here, it's not going to make dollars. I'm just saying,
Right.
So, right or wrong. So let's get back to this. I'm just fascinated. What is your approach for trade? So if somebody submits a trade appraisal form or something like that, and how do you handle that? Do you have them fill out? You said KBB or one of these other forms. What if they say to you, "Hey, this that's not enough for my trade"? How do you handle that?
Well, at that point, we generally, generally the trade evaluations are handled by two dealer principals and then a manager.
Oh wow.
And so at that point, we kind of TO that over to one of them and say, hey, what we offer them was not what they thought they should be getting. Is there anything else that we can do to possibly get their vehicle? And usually it's like, when can you come in? Can we take a look at it? And at that point, because hey, when you're doing it online, you can't really see it.
Right.
They're just going off of a guesstimate basically. So once they get it here, most of them say, well, sure, if you think you can give me more, I will come in, because CarMax said this so, and they usually come in and we usually end up getting it. We 9 times out of 10, if it's $1 over what they thought, we get it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's stick with the continuity right now for the next probably 5-10 minutes on objections and rebuttals, expectations. So I just handled that right there for the trade-in situation. What about pricing? What type of pushback do you get on pricing? Do you have people asking you if it's over list? And how do you handle that? So if I ask you, we're role play right now. So here, so Sabrina, listen to me. I've been looking for this Denali, and these dealers are crazy around here. They keep telling me about like, $1,000 over sticker, some more than that. You're not going to have me pay over sticker for this car, are you?
Well, ultimately in this market, unfortunately, this is what we're dealing with. But how about this here? Let's come in here. Are you planning on trading anything? How much you're willing to put down? I'm pretty sure there is a way that we can work around this for you and possibly get you the vehicle that you're desiring, because we just truly want to earn your business. When can you come in?
I love it. So your training is it's get them in, and there's a psychology for this. So if I'm as a trainer, here's the reality: is that you have a higher probability of closing or overcoming something if somebody's physically there. Again, I don't know if this analogy is going to resonate with a lot of people, but in jiu-jitsu or collegiate wrestling or UFC, there's a phrase: position before submission, which means before you try to put a submission on or finishing hold or try to pin somebody down, you want to get in the best tactical position for various reasons. Because if it doesn't get to a knockout or tap out, if you got to go to the judges, different positions have higher points. One, and second, if you want to execute a move, a choke, a takedown, a pin, a certain position will give you tactical advantage. I'm going to repeat that phrase: tactical advantage. So again, you don't want to negotiate and have disappointing information through a 7% communication like an email, chat, or text. You don't even want to have that type of conversation with only 38% shot through just sound and inflection. If somebody actually takes the time to physically go to your dealership, first of all, you have the opportunity to, to show and prove by being kind, by being, professional. And then they have full sensory overload: sight, sound, motion, and emotion. So if you're ever going to have to deal with something that's adverse, you want to have tactical advantage. So this is not laziness, because I've heard other people that have opinions that don't understand psychology and strategy at the level that obviously we do. And so like, oh, people are just lazy, come on down, that's so old school. Yeah, if you're just saying come on down because you don't know what else to do, and that's what you've been trained to do is come on down, then fine. But I don't say come on down like that. I basically build value on why they need to show up. I give them hope. I give them possibilities to get them to me. And then I use everything: my environment, my personality, my resources to build value, to build that relationship. It's harder to build a relationship through a text, chat, or an email, or just over the phone. So what we want to do is get them to the dealership, because we will have the highest probability of conversion if we've got home court tactical advantage. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I wish I met you a lot sooner in my career, your career,
Me
because
too.
I'm like, right? Yeah, like for real. Real recognizes real. That's what it is, though, is that
Absolutely.
It's rare to find people that have that type of mindset and the track record to prove it, because people could have great ideas, but if they're not able to execute and show and prove, it's just rhetoric and it's rah-rah talk. But you are about that life. Yeah.
I sure
So
am.
let's talk about credit then. What happens if somebody says, look, man, I've got bad credit, and you're like, come on down. Like, no, I'm not coming down, because every time I go down to the dealership, they waste my time, embarrassing for my kids. They call me a bogue. I don't know what a bogue is, or a roach, and they kick me out of the store. I'm not coming down unless I know that you could get me approved. How do you handle that?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Did you know 40% of service calls go to voicemail or hang up?
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
How many times does it take for your customers to connect with someone at your store?
The world may never know.
Unless you have CallSource customers connect with 96% of their clients' calls and convert over 85% of bookable calls to appointments. Really? If you're not performing at that level, or if you don't know, then text HELP to
855-963-2686
and receive a free evaluation of your store's performance.
It's funny you say that, because I had a customer like that on Facebook this week, and he was insistent. He had a 460 credit score. He said, I got $9,000 down. Can you get me in? And I said, well,
Hell to
money
the yes.
Money talks. I'm like, we still need to do a credit app. I understand that you know your credit score is bad. I said, let's do the credit app, and then at that point, you got $9,000 down. That's going to out trump anything else at this point. The vehicle that he was looking at, it was perfect. He didn't want to come. I said, listen, I promise you, we work with all different types of vendors, all different type of banks and lenders. We can get you in a vehicle. He said, no, I'm only good for buy here, pay here. He said, I appreciate everything. I know you're trying your hardest. I mean, we went through the whole rigmarole. I said, I'll send you the credit app right now. I still sent it to him. Do you not know? He said, well, I'm not going to do it, but I thank you for everything. He came in the next day and put $9,000 down. His credit, it didn't even matter, because people fail to realize, okay, your credit might be this bad, Okay, yeah, you can have a cosigner, but if you have the right amount of money to put down, you don't even need a cosigner. You can still get the vehicle and still be able to go. And I just try to remind them, hey, we have all different types of banks. I mean, if it's Santander, if it's, GM Financial, whoever, we can find a way as long as you have something to put out towards it as well. Credit is a lot, but it's not everything at this point, as you can see in this market.
Sabrina, you're so right, because most people don't realize this, even in the automotive industry. If you put 20% down on a car, it's an automatic tier jump in the approval process.
Right.
So again, because it's just common sense. What the banks want to do is mitigate their risk of somebody going bad and they're losing their investment. So the banks perceive if somebody's putting 20% down, because that's not normal. You know what most people want to do? Nothing down and nothing a month. I get it. You know what I mean? So do I, but that's not the reality. So the more that you're able to come out of pocket, the more skin the bank feels that you have in the game. And plus, here's what I would say, because I was in a situation like you. I worked at a dealer group. I worked at Pine Belt, Nissan, Kia, Cadillac, same brand. And what's funny is that my dealership, didn't want to have the special finance customers in the Cadillac showroom. So we had a Nissan Kia building, we had a Cadillac building, and then we had a Cadillac used cars. Yeah, we were it's like a 400 car a month dealership.
Oh, wow.
So we were doing like close to like 80 subprime deals a month back then at like $4,000-$5,000 a copy, murdering it, because we had a whole system and process. And the things with special finance, if you've got cars, first of all, that book out the right way. See, prospects don't understand this about the whole concept of loan value and booking out the proper way. They don't understand also there's relationships. If you are a dealer group and you're selling a lot of cars, you're developing equity into the relationship with these different banks. And then depending on certain situations, it's like who you know. I could call up my bank rep and
Right.
like, listen, I need to work this. And if there's money down from what you said, then we can make it happen. But they're so abused and kicked by these other fugazi dealerships out there.
Right.
They don't realize it. So they need to have people like us that are going to be able to explain, the process and be able to reassure them. And so I love what you're saying. Everything is accurate. Okay, let's go through. Besides what I mentioned about pricing, trade, and credit, tell us some of the pushbacks or objections or, those type of things, the frustrating things that you and your department has to deal with prospects, not the dealership side of it, but like with prospects and their expectations. What are some of the things that prospects want or need or push back the most on?
Well, I mean, generally, of course, you're going to always get those customers that, especially dealing with leads, sometimes it's, oh, I didn't submit anything. I'm not in the market right now. Okay. Or I don't want to be pressured by anybody. I'll come in when I want to come in. Don't call me anymore. I mean, we kind of, especially being that we are the nucleus of our whole organization, we get all the kickback, before the salespeople even get involved with it. So we have to work through a lot of that. I'm buying a house right now. Okay, how long you think you're going to be, in that process? So we have to push follow up out for a couple months or whatever, So, I mean, we deal with a lot of that, but for the most part, I mean, we don't even let it bother us because it's just like, either way, we're going to find a way to get it. Customers are customers. We get cussed out sometimes. I mean, it is what it is, but it's the name of the game because honestly, I feel like for my department, we're selling the car before the salespeople even get in anything with it, So I tell my ladies, because it's all ladies up here, I'm like, hey, do whatever you can, try to find a way around it and see what we can do to get the customer, bought.
Yeah. Fire. Listen, for the people in the Millionaire Car Salesman group, you already got some fans of you, girl, already. The people are giving you some shout outs and stuff. I have a GSM, from Burlington Volkswagen. My friend Melvin Rodriguez was like saying, this is fire. Somebody just said in the comments, Phil, you could check after the thing. They said gold bars drop, like you're dropping gold bars right here. So, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about the 10,000 pound gorilla in the room in this industry. You just said that you have a team of all females. Now, I want to give a shout out to one of the most amazing internet directors that passed away. Her name is Tammy LeBlue, and I don't want to get emotional with this. She was a very good friend of mine, very close friend of mine. She worked at Or Nissan in Bossier City, Louisiana, and she had a whole team of females, and she murdered this. She was like the number 2 Nissan consultant in the country before they made her the internet, manager, director at this. And I think that there is a ridiculous dilemma in our industry. Females. Okay, General Motors said that females have over 83% buying power. They also influence, you ready for this? I think it's like crazy, like about like 50%, like 46, almost 50% of all truck sales, believe it or not, are females. But yet females, there's not nearly enough females in automotive. There's not nearly enough females in management. And there are even fewer females in executive management or in ownership. And then I'm looking at you, I'm not blind. You're also an African-American woman. There's even fewer, minorities, female minorities in this position of leadership. And you are a Black woman that's representing a dealer group, and your department, you and your ladies are kicking ass and taking names and doing 2/3 of the business of 40 people, which I would guarantee they're mostly men, right? So you're telling me 6 ladies. My wife and my 2 girls that are in the industry are like, that's right. I expect nothing less. 6 girls, 1, woman manager, 7 ladies, 40 men. Of course, we're going to do better. We're going to do double that. That's crazy. Why? If that's the case, then why aren't there more females in the automotive industry, from your opinion?
Honestly, I feel like there might be some hesitation because I think they might be nervous. I wrote service for years. And
Ooh.
more women were apt to come to me as a service writer because they felt like I would be honest. I had men who was like, you don't know what you're talking about because you're not a man, So sexism is real in this industry. I am the only African American woman manager in our whole organization. In sales, there are only 3 sales consultant ladies in our whole organization. So believe me when I say I feel it. And when I come into a room of owners and different ones, they're like, we know you're going to speak your mind. Absolutely, because we have to fight to be heard as a woman. I'm doing a job of about 10 people, and I love it. I'm passionate about it. And I tell my ladies in here, everything we do is going to be in excellence. This dealership will not move without us. We're working remotely sometimes. So it's just like, we got to do what we got to do. Show them what they're missing when we're not around. We want them to miss us when we're not here, So I build that in them, integrity. I build all of that with the ladies because it's excellence, And I'm telling you, my ladies work overtime. We get in the paint.
Yes.
And they have to get rough and tough with some of these sales consultants because they think they know it all. And we like, no, you better send me this. You need to do this. You need to do that. I mean, and I tell them, you kind of got to get a little rough, because some of them try to take advantage of you, But, we love what we do. And we have a lot on our shoulders. But it's amazing how many customers that we talk to and we follow up with, and they want to come in and see us. We have them bringing us snacks and things like that because we've built that rapport with them, So it's just awesome. I love it. I love it.
You hit on so many different things. Let me just pick a couple of things right here. There is drama, even if it was a team of men, BDC in the showroom. I'm not saying it's as real as Bloods and Crips, but there is dissension because sometimes they don't understand what you do. And I'm just keeping it real. My wife is the boss at home and at work. She's the CEO of the company. And I have 2 daughters that are in the business. One works for me now at Dealer Synergy and one's at a dealership. And so I am pro females in our industry, apparently, right? So follow what I'm saying here. Whether it's men or women, I think there's friction between the showroom and BDC. A lot of times the people in the showroom think that the BDC is a bunch of secretaries or they're playing with internet stuff, and they don't understand there's process. We have more activities, more responsibilities, and we're under the microscope. way more than the showroom people are, and we're held to a higher standard. And we are paid less and perceived less for whatever, male or female. But then when you add the mechanics of being a female, and then you add the mechanics of being a minority female, what you're doing, and I'm going to go on record and say this, I've been in this industry for 23 years. We have 3,500 rooftop clients in 4 countries. And you are badass. You are one of the top internet directors that I've interviewed. And I'm not just saying that, you might not have the biggest store. No, listen to me, girl. I'm virtue. I've got a lot of stores that are selling way more cars off of one thing, but it's not about that. It's about aspect ratio, like pound for pound type thing, metaphorically speaking, is how do you have 40 people that are handling a fraction of the stuff to only do 1/3 of the work, but you have 6 females and 1 female minority manager that's handling 2/3 of the business. Like, I don't care if I'm Forrest Gump, I'm not the sharpest guy on the block. I could see clearly, the value that you guys bring. So question, do you feel appreciated? Do they show you guys love? I mean, on an ownership management level for the department, or is it a struggle every day?
They do. Now they'll buy us lunch and different things like that.
Forget about that stupid. No. I'm cutting you off. I don't care about lunch and little come on, that's beneath you. You're a queen. That's beneath you. Lunch, you could buy your own lunch. I'm saying, do they appreciate you? Do they? First of all, even simpler question. Do they even understand what you do besides the end result of money? Do they understand?
Heck no.
Thank you.
No. And I have to fight and I have to prove it. If the phones go down or the internet goes down, guess who's the first person to jump in the paint? Me. They hope I don't wear sneakers any day, because if I do, that's a bad omen saying everything's going to go down and I'm going to have to rip and run all day trying to fix it for everybody. So it's like we are so important that we're almost unimportant at the same time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And so I have to fight and be like, hey, my ladies are here 7 days a week, even, because we got a service department too, part of our BDC. They're setting all the service appointments. They're answering questions. We're chasing down service advisors to get status updates, so it's just like, it can be a lot, and we do feel it sometimes, but I have to encourage them and say, hey, you know what? No matter what, we got this here, because we're not looking for accolades or anything like that. I mean, right now we have a 1% failed call rate with MarchX for all of for every store right now in our area. That's amazing. 1%. 7 ladies answering all of these stores, and we're at a 1%. Yep. And that's me going through and making sure these ladies. I mean, we're killing it. That's all I can say. If I could crit walk right now, I would. I mean,
snap! I love it. You know what? What I also could tell already, and folks, for the record, when did we meet? Tell everybody.
Just about an hour ago.
Yeah, and we've been on this thing for about an hour. So we literally met 5 minutes before we pressed this. She wasn't even in our group. I'm not offended, but she didn't even know about the Millionaire Car Salesman group or whatever. She didn't even know that she was going to be in front of like tens of thousands of people and whatnot. But so this is real. This is not orchestrated. This is nothing. I'm thanking my people at AutoWeb and just so you understand what's going on, folks, is that I got my informants, I got my agents. Sean Bradley's reach is long across the country. And so I really do have all my vendors. I have a whole network of trying to find talent and unique people all over the United States. And I'm so grateful for AutoWeb to be able to bring you to my attention so I could highlight you, because man, what you are doing is amazing. But what's even better than that is passion. That's the word that I could say from looking at your Facebook and having this conversation for you, is that you've got passion. And if you've got passion, your success is a given. You know what I mean? It's hard to do that. You know this, you're a manager. It's hard to teach passion and excitement. I much rather slow somebody down. Not that you need slowing down or at all, but I'm saying than having to constantly, come on, do something, get up, take a phone call, dig it up or whatever it is. So I thoroughly enjoy meeting high level people that are passionate about this industry. So much respect.
Thank you.
So I'm sorry, AutoWeb's still here. Let's go back to them for a quick second. So what do you like about AutoWeb? Seriously, what do you like about working with AutoWeb?
Well, of course, it's easy to reach them, and if anybody in this industry knows, it is so hard to reach out to, your different vendors sometimes and get somebody on the phone to answer a simple question. But they make it easy, and not only that, I mean, their leads are, if you're getting an AutoWeb lead, 9 times out of 10, this customer is really, really interested. So it makes it so much easier to contact them and follow up with them and get a sale.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So what does that feel like for you, Paul, to have somebody at the caliber of Sebrinner that's representing your leads? Because again, this is your brand too. These prospects are coming to AutoWeb or your affiliates, and you want dealers to be able to, provide value to your customers, because that's how AutoWeb survives. It's both. It's not only the dealers, but it's the public that you guys serve. So what is it about someone at the caliber of Sebrinner that really should please a vendor like yourself?
Well, I mean, it's the personality, like you said, and the passion. I mean, we find consumers that are looking to purchase a vehicle, and we connect them with the dealership. And it is so important that the customer wants to work with your store. They want to work with someone they like and someone they trust. Knowing you for the short time I have, I mean, that's the connection you're going to have with these customers. Immediately, they're going to like you. The personality is fantastic. The follow-up is perfect. You're going to get them on the phone. They're going to trust you, and that's key. I mean, they're going to want to work with you. That's going to get them in the store, and then from there, you're just going to we know what's going to happen there. You're going to sell the car. So, I mean, that's what we're looking for, is just someone with the follow-up, the trustworthiness, the personality, and that connection is just going to happen automatically. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier with the process, rapport, the personality. It's amazing.
Absolutely. So listen, I want to thank both of you guys for being on the show and for being on the podcast and the Facebook group. Sebrinner, I hope that you are active in the Millionaire Car Salesman group and on the podcast. And I look forward to learning more about you and sharing in your successes and your triumphs. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sean.
Y'all reach out to me.
Perfect.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is sponsored in part by AutoWeb and Call Review. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.